Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher West, and you are watching Uncommon Sense, making the uncommon common. At least, hopefully. Today's episode is going to be touching on topics such as coronavirus and the social implications it's rearing in as a result. But first, isn't this math stuff crazy? I feel like one of those guys in those really cool but buzz-killingly slow industrial accident videos, where at first it's like 3 boring minutes of just machine operators going about their day, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, liquid hot metal is now flying 35 feet into the air and falling, raining down on anyone that's in the way. Yeah, I feel like one of those guys. Well, before the thing exploded. Coronavirus isn't explosive, is it? Anyways, how is coronavirus affecting the social status of America? Well, the problem that I'm referring to is, in fact, a Hegelian dialectic. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, the Hegelian dialectic is at least in the form that I'm using it, simply means two man-made opposing sides coming together to create a predetermined outcome. In this instance, the two opposing sides are created by the quarantine itself. Now, one side is listening to the rules that the government has now enforced upon us and are, following the quarantine. And they're staying home, they're not going out unless they need to, unless they have to get groceries, they're doing the rules. And the other side is not giving a fuck. They're going out, getting fast food, doing whatever they want, chilling, going to parks, this and that. They're not really caring, you know what I mean? They're not really caring at all. And what's happening is the government is already enforcing more rules. I was supposed to get this video out yesterday. Or actually, for those of you who are friends of me on Facebook, have already seen a variant of this video I posted on Facebook weeks and weeks and weeks ago. But I wanted to drop this video officially onto my channel and then also put it back on Facebook. To give it a title and just so it can be, on my channel actually. But long story short, there's people that aren't listening. And the people that aren't listening, they're making the people who are listening mad, because the side that is listening, they're not scientists, they're not geniuses, they're just regular everyday folks, and so they don't really know what exactly is spreading the coronavirus. They don't know what exactly is helping spread the coronavirus. So regardless if it's true or not, regardless if this quarantine is even helping us to begin with, the side that's listening is going to believe this quarantine is going on longer than it should, longer than it has to, because the other side's not listening, and they think they're putting them at risk. Regardless if that's true or not, that's what they're going to believe, because they don't know how pandemics actually work, you know what I mean? No. Now what's going to happen is the government is going to enforce more and more rules. You've already heard that the quarantine's now going until May 30th. You've already probably heard that now you have to wear face masks. You have to wear face masks when you go to grocery stores. Stores can now deny you service if you're not wearing a face mask. The rules are going to get worse as time goes on. This is going to go on longer than people think. I think it's going to go on past June. I think it's going to go on longer than we think, and our rules are going to get even harder and harder. Now, the problem is with that is all of this. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say I don't believe. I'm not going to say I do believe. I'm going to say I don't know if the government started the coronavirus. Now, I don't mean the U.S. I just mean any government. Because we always get some bullshit story, where did AIDS come from? Oh, didn't some bitch fuck a monkey? Didn't somebody fuck a monkey? It's always some stupid shit. Where did coronavirus come from? Didn't somebody eat a bat? It's always some dumb bullshit that's stupid and makes no sense. And gets blown way out of proportion. So I don't know if this is a government started thing, but I do know the government is taking advantage of these times, and they're doing that by putting this quarantine in place, and what's happening is there's a natural Hegelian dialectic taking place. The one side that's listening is getting mad at this side that's listening. So when the government enforces more and more rules, whether it's now you get fined, you get arrested, you get ticketed, or you get jail time, or you get shot even, eventually when it gets to the more extreme measures, the side that's listening is not going to care about the side that is not listening, because in their mind, it's their fault, so they need to be punished. But like I said, whether or not it's even true, our rights are being taken away, and this side is going to let that happen, the majority is going to let that happen because they just want to see it pushed onto the side that's not listening. Good, fuck them, throw them in jail. They're not listening in the first place. But what they don't understand is they're taking all of our rights, because the minute one of you guys on the side that's listening wants to go outside, you're going to be jailed also. You're going to be shot also. You're going to be, infringed upon also. So they're not just taking the rights of people that you want to be taken away. They're taking away all of our rights. You know what I mean? That's the big picture. That's the big problem. And it's going to happen easily. It's going to be, ushered in easily, because the majority is already going to be in agreement with the government, because they believe this side is the problem and they want to see consequences on their part. You know what I mean? But the problem is, it's going to be consequences for all of us. See, China, when the coronavirus hit them initially, they shut the country down hard, quick, and heavy. You know what I mean? Immediately, and everybody listened, because China is a communist nation. They listen to their government more. They not necessarily believe it, but you know what I mean? They're way more susceptible to believing and listening, doing what the government says. Americans, yeah, we're not the only country that's free, but we like to jerk our dicks off with the idea of freedom. Our freedom is in our blood. It is ingrained in our culture. You know what I mean? Life, give me life or give me liberty. Only thing. So if the United States immediately, right off the bat, was like, everybody stay home, we're deploying the National Guard, you got to get locked up in your house, we would have a problem with that. You know what I mean? If the government started going house to house, checking people if sick, we'd have a problem with that. Conspiracy theorists and, red-blooded Americans and patriots, we'd be up in arms. We'd be, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Is this martial law? Blah, blah, blah. We'd have a whole outroar. It'd be a huge cry. You think these white folks going crazy in the Capitol right now? If they tried to do that right off the bat, it'd be damn near Civil War, 2.0 out in the streets right now. That's because we have freedom embedded into the back of our minds at all times. It's always in our hearts. It's always in our minds. Freedom and choice is, in our blood. So we have to make it feel like this enforcement is necessary, and we have to feel like we allowed this to happen. So what's happening is the government is slowly implementing new and more rules, harsher and harsher rules, slowly. Look up incrementalism. It's the idea of slowly, by small pieces, taking away more rights and, doing your agenda slowly. But yeah, that's what's happening. I believe that we're creating a natural Hegelian dialectic with the people, because it's always divide and conquer. One side's listening, one side's not listening. They're getting mad at this side, and the minority, the people who aren't listening, are gonna be destroyed. And in the process of being destroyed, of us allowing them to be destroyed, we're allowing ourselves to also be destroyed by the government, because we're gonna take everybody's rights. It's not just those who aren't listening; it's anybody who's not listening. You know what I mean? So look out for that. Be careful for that. Have patience with one another. Don't get mad at the other side. Don't wholeheartedly trust the government. Don't just believe what they have to say is best for us, because they've never done anything that's best for us. They're doing this because it could destroy the whole nation, which they're a part of. They're worried about themselves ultimately. This is not about our health. This is about keeping their economics right. This is about keeping their nation right. This isn't about our health. It's not what it's about. It's about them staying alive. And they need us to stay alive because we keep them alive. We keep them in power, actually. So they don't actually care about this. They're just trying to keep their system in place. Keep that in mind. And don't get mad at each other. Don't lose faith in one another. These are scary times. Don't go crazy. Stay smart, stay vigilant, and understand that nobody knows what's going on. And I don't mean even like a philosophical, like existential way. I'm talking about this coronavirus. Nobody really knows what the fuck's going on. This shit hit us by storm. You know what I mean? So just don't believe the first thing you hear. Even if it is from official sources. But long story short, I want to get this video out. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully it's some food for thought. I'll see you next week. Next episode's probably going to be a doozy. It's going to be about Satanism and the elite and those who rule the world. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be interesting. Even if you don't believe in any of this nonsense, it's going to be interesting and fun. And it's also going to be food for thought. So thanks for watching. Please, I'm begging you, subscribe to my channel. I need it.